Greetings to the Mind the Business That Pays You family. We have with us today Dr. Tabatha Russell. She is an incredible woman. I had a chance last year to be with her in a powerful program called Powerful on Purpose. And I saw on the internet that it was coming up, and I said, whoa, I have to get her in the studio before it comes up so we can tell our people about it. So how are you doing, Dr.
I am
Russell? How you
doing
doing?
wonderful. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna start off with this one question, Dr. Russell. I'd like you to answer for me. Just for our audience, what is it that you do and what makes you great at it?
Well, that's a great question. For me, I help people see what they cannot yet see in themselves, meaning that I guide high achieving leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries from confusion to clarity, from survival to structure, and from financial stress to legacy driven wealth. My work sits at the intersection of mindset, strategy, faith, and execution. I don't just inspire transformation, I build systems that make transformation sustainable. And so, for me, I teach people how to reclaim their authority over money, identity, and purpose. And whether through it being coaching, speaking, or building frameworks, I help individuals and families move from reacting to life, basically, towards intentionality or intentionally designing it, right? Helping them really craft out their lives and their business and their structure to create multiple streams of wealth, as well as you asked the question about what makes me great at it. It's not just knowledge, but it's through lived experience. I've walked through financial instability, identity shifts, and rebuilding from hard lessons. That particular journey actually gives me empathy without enabling limitation. I also understand the emotional side of growth while still holding people accountable to their highest potential. Like a lot of times when people sign on with me, I'm holding them to what they say that they are going to do, what they want, and how they want to build something out. So I have a unique ability to simply simplify complex ideas and make them actionable. So I don't just give motivation, I provide structure. I see patterns quickly in people, in businesses, and the systems, and help others connect the dots between where they are and where they're called to be, not just where they want to be, because that's not always the target, right? Where we are called is differently. So I like to lead with truth, strategy, and conviction. So I create environments where people feel both seen and stretched, supported enough to feel safe, and challenged enough to grow. So some days I may be, giving people a little gentle nudge, right? Some days I may give them a forceful push, and other days I may drag them, right? So at my core, I am a builder of builders. I don't just help people succeed, I help them become the kind of leaders who create lasting impact, generational wealth, and meaningful legacy.
You know, as you were describing that, you sound like a loving mother. I'm gonna love on you if I need to, but if I need to, I'm gonna get that strap and that spiritual strap and get you in gear. So I love that. Well, let me ask you this, Dr. Tabitha. What inspired you to create Powerful on Purpose, and how did the platform come to be?
So, what inspired me was I've been in the space of speaking for roughly a little bit over 20 years. And within that time frame, I saw where other people would ask me how I would do it. How am I able to craft my message? How am I able to get on other stages? And through that process, it became something that the Lord just said, okay, teach my people, right? Help them to be able to duplicate the same process. And I also saw that there were some gaps in the industry sometimes where it comes to getting on the stage, right? How to put that message together, how to market yourself for other stages. And so Powerful on Purpose was really born out of the need to want to help people to now craft their own signature messages and get on other stages.
hmm Dr. Tabitha, what is the date and time of the event?
Yes, the date is February 21st, 2026 in Columbia, South Carolina. We start promptly at 9 a.m. and we have 30 speakers. That's right, 30
Wow.
going
Okay.
across the stage. It's still growing, it's getting bigger each
Yes.
and every time. We also have a segment where we celebrate community leaders. It's called the Community Excellence Impact Award, where several community leaders from around the country come in and we celebrate them for the work and the achievements that they're doing also. And it's just really become a great opportunity for people to be able to get their message out there.
Hmm. Now, is there an opportunity? I'm not able to be there with you physically this year. Is there an opportunity for people like me to get a peek virtually? Have you gotten to that?
Absolutely. We do have virtual options available, and that is on my website, drtabatharussell.com. And you can click under events, and it shows the options there. You can join us virtually, in person as well. We do have those options available. We only have just a few more seats left, though. We usually sell out pretty quickly. So we're super excited about all the things that we're going to have going on that day.
As you should be. I remember it as a fantastic event, and I enjoyed myself, and so I know that with you at the helm, it has done nothing but grown. So, and congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Let me ask you this: how do you define powerful in the context of your platform?
Well, powerful really is standing in your own ability and your own authenticity. Many times, we as leaders, we sometimes see others from afar off and we say, potentially, I want to be like that, right? However, it's good to glean in the garden, but ultimately show up in your own strength and power. So being powerful is just really being who you are, but tapping into that from the standpoint of don't just play with it, master it, right? Whatever your unique gifting is, you want to work towards that to where you go above and beyond and you always operate from a place of service, right? As well as a place of abundance where you always want to give more than you receive. So being powerful has many layers to it, but initially it's just really being authentic and genuine in doing so.
Tell me this: who is the ideal audience for Powerful and Purpose, and what common challenges do they face?
So the ideal audience is those that really are in a place of wanting to be empowered, right? Whether that is in their leadership, it could be health and wellness because we attract a number of different people that want to share their message. So a lot of times outside of leadership and health and wellness, there's financial literacy. There's also individuals that may talk about abuse, whether that is mental or physical. And they also are giving real information on how you can overcome the various challenges that you have in your life. So the attendees that come in, they're going to walk away with substantial information that's going to help them to be able to take their life and ultimately their business to the next level.
Doc, I'm gonna tell you this: some of our information for everybody on Facebook, you see some, you don't. But something that know I saw that you did recently was a TED Talk, and I'd like to know how that experience was for you, and did the platform lend any things that you might be able to use for your platform? How was that?
Yeah, can I just say that that was the most exhilarating thing I've ever experienced in my life outside of my
Wow.
children, right? So
Okay.
I will say TEDx really gave me the opportunity to really stretch out in what it is that I do. On that particular talk, I shared about the ebony treasure map. And the ebony treasure map talks about how there's wealth literally sitting in plain sight for us, right? As a society have gotten so far away from our roots on how it is we used to help each other to build big businesses, how we used to sit down and pour into one another, how it is that we used to, come together as a community and put things in place that help to strengthen the next generation. And what we find now is today we want to hide the information, we want to keep it to ourselves, or we want to charge premium dollars to get the little nuggets, right? So, with that, the Ebony Treasure Map has really leveraged or allowed me to be able to leverage that towards the business because I ultimately teach financial literacy. From that one talk, I got 105,000 views and still counting. I have had a lot of people to connect with me, as well as the messaging has really started to strike up more conversations around how do we now implement the things that you were talking about. So the Ebony Treasure Map is really taking things back to the basics of what we know works, but building on it to where it becomes a lifestyle, right? Like a staple in our conversations as well as in the every average household every day.
Now, break that down for me. You're an intentional person. There's a reason why it's called the ebony, what you just said. Tell me why it's called the ebony treasure map.
So it's called the Ebony Treasure Map because it is dealing with Black and Brown people, right?
Hmm.
Us taking the treasure that we have that's on the inside and really laying out the map for others to follow. And what do I mean by that? Having the regular conversations, right? I put together, it's on my website as well, drtabatharussell.com, where there's a 10-minute Sunday family meeting, right? And from that, you get the opportunity to start talking about financial wealth, start talking about the things that need to be put into place because let's face it, they don't say that the richest place in the world is the graveyard for nothing, right? All the secrets, the recipes, and financial knowledge is going to the graveyard because we don't have structure in place to share it. And so it really sometimes pulls at my heartstrings that we live in a society that's like that, but the only way to really face that is to now put stuff in place and lay it out to where somebody else can pick it up and follow it. I look at how, as an entrepreneur, we say that we're in business, right? But if somebody does not know how to pick your business model up and go with it the same way that you would do it, it becomes a missed opportunity, right? And it's not so much that we should expect them to want to do it, but we should live a life that makes them curious enough to where they will want to do it. So the Ebony Treasure Map basically is laying out the foundation of being able to do that.
I love it. Now, what's the protocol for, like, does TEDx allow you to post your a link to your speech on your website, or is that the best way for people to see that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can post it on your website. However, TED is super particular about how you advertise their information. Everything has to point back to their website. So or
Hmm.
their channel. So even though I post the link, when they go to it, they're going to go to their link and not so much my link. So they do allow you to be able to do that. And what you can and cannot say from the stage is very important as well. Like I couldn't go on there and say, go to my website, drtabitharussell.com, buy my book, all these things. However, the premise of TED is to say it's an idea that can change the world. That's their whole thing. And it used to be reserved for scientists and architects and different people like that. But no, they want everyday people with an idea that could literally change the world. So it has allowed more people, first of all, to share their ideas and get to the stage, but also still keeping the integrity of the site without being salesy, right? So we don't get on there and we don't try to sell things, but we do try to say, I want you now to go and try what it is that I've done that could literally change your life.
Now, 105,000 is a healthy number. How long ago did you do your talk?
My talk was done last year, August. So,
That is awesome. Not
yeah,
not that long ago. So congratulations. That is phenomenal.
thank you.
So let me shift back because that was my little. I was being nosy because I'm very interested in TED. So thank you for that. But let me shift back to Powerful on Purpose. What are the core principles or pillars of Powerful on Purpose?
So the core principles is first of all, you have to have a message that is tied back to your purpose, right? When you go to the stage, we are talking and sharing about what is it that makes you, of course, great in your sphere of influence and why, right? What's the story behind that? But more importantly, how that story has really helped you to be the person that you are today. So, for example, people see me today, but they don't know that I am, a one day from 18 years of being in the making, right? So, over
Mhm.
18-year overnight success. So when
Yeah.
when I tell people that, they're like, 18 years. Yeah, it was a time in there where I myself, being in financial literacy, made one decision, lost a $500,000, the house, the cars, all the things, and had four small babies at the time. So the premise of the platform is for people to really share the crux of what made them to be the mogul, the entrepreneur, the CEO, the leader that they are today. But more importantly, what's the formula behind it, right? What's that driving force? And how is that connected to your why that's so great that you'll do it even if you're not going to make any money from it? And so
Mhm.
I like to start off by saying, don't play with this, right? If
Right.
you're going
Right.
to do it, your one goal is to master it, whatever that is, and be the most amazing that you can be by doing so and really help people, right? Like I see quite often that people are not showing up or really given the information that's really beneficial. So the whole premise of Powerful on Purpose is for us to empower others.
Well, I'm not sure if you'll remember this, but when first time I met you, came after you spoke, I came to your table and I picked up every book you had
Yes.
and I bought it because I realized I said this is an incredible individual who is an intentional individual. Can you describe a signature program, course, or offering within your platform and its outcomes? And I phrase it like that is because most of the time you talk about finances, but there's so much more in the well over there. Okay. So when people do Powerful on Purpose, do they have an opportunity to do other programs within it? If so, what are they?
Yes, so they do absolutely get the opportunity to do other programs. So, Powerful on Purpose in itself is a course that individuals can go through as well. So, if they're first time speaker, if they have a desire, an idea of a message that they may want to share, they feel like that their purpose is welling up, that's a course. But we also have the Next Level CEO. And the Next Level CEO is a year-long program where we come alongside you and help you to build the systems, the structure, and the strategy on how it is that you achieve multiple streams of income in your business. And so that really means that we get in there to find out what you're doing, what's working, what's not, and really build on that foundation within that year term. We do have a another program that is called the Wealth Builders Revolution. That program basically deals with wealth, the different types of wealth, the structure, how to now implement generational wealth, but doing it from the inside out, right? Like there's a lot of people that are financial managers and different things like that. However, we teach you not only how to be your own manager, but also how we do it as a unit, right? Not just you yourself getting the institutional knowledge. If you never share it, then that's as far as it's going to go, right? So
Right.
we talk about the strategies and what that looks like within that program. And that's a year-long program as well. Outside of that, we have, several other businesses. We also have a media and production company. We have a book publishing company as well. We have a magazine that we have going on. So we have several things around that, as well as I also do real estate. So there's a lot that stays going over here as well.
So, how does Powerful on Purpose help clients develop leadership and confidence in real world situations?
Yeah, so I will say, first of all, if you are able to get up and stand in front of a room full of people that's going to test every bit and every ounce of your leadership abilities because most people are not public speakers. So,
Hmm.
in building up the confidence to be able to do that and share one of your innermost stories, a lot of times allows them to now build on how it is that they overcome, but we do so with structure and with balance. So, for most leaders, we can get out there and we can help everybody else, but when it comes to us, it sometimes looks a little different, right? I'm gonna give you this part, but I'm gonna keep that part on the other side. Where no, we're real people at the helm of these businesses. We're real people at the end of the day that have, families, and we do stuff in the communities, often work with a lot of pastors and leaders and those that are in the clergy as well. So there's a lot that usually happens, but I would say that it starts with being able to deliver a message and set the example on how others can follow when it comes to leadership.
I'm revisiting my opportunity to have been with you last year, and I'm not sure if I told you this after I left, but if I didn't, I'll say it now. Uh, I just felt it's a feat to be able to pull off being both corporate and family at the same time. That is not easy, and I feel like you've accomplished that, and I want to applaud you for that because as people went up and spoke or whatever role they played, that there was a supportive network in place that could be felt. Quite frankly, you don't get that everywhere. So kudos to you and your team.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this. What role does mindset play in your framework, and which mindset shifts are most transformative? Uh-oh.
Mindset is everything, right?
Okay.
I spend sometimes 60 to 70% dealing with mindset in every single area when it comes to business. And the reason why I say that, and especially when it comes to getting ready to present information or being that leader that you're called to be, like what I find is that a lot of people don't understand that every level that you go in life, right, it requires a new mindset shift from the standpoint of you have to become the person able to handle that level at which you're at. But when you go and you expand, for example, now you got to become another leader, right? Or increase at least, right? So that your stewardship shows up properly because if not, you're bringing old habits that no longer fit in the new space. People quickly find themselves overwhelmed, they have anxiety, depression, they feel like, oh, I can't do this. I'm not enough. Imposter syndrome sets in, all the things that come along with it. However, if they do the groundwork and prepare as they're going along, it makes the transition going to that new level easier. So, mindset is really the first part of the advancement before you even get there. Like seeing yourself in that position, actually doing it makes the difference before you even get there.
So you let me tell you what was in my mind as you were speaking. You cannot pour new wine in old wine vats.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
I'm feeling you and I'm hearing you. Dr. Tapper, how do you measure success for participants and what metrics or signs indicate meaningful progress?
So generally, we do that by their level of aha moments, right? A lot of times we will find that as we're going along in the program, because just for the Powerful on Purpose, we will train for a minimum of 12 weeks, right? And for
Hmm.
some people that's a little bit more advanced like yourself, it's optional, right? And I don't say that
Allegedly,
lightly because I don't tell that to everybody, okay?
you heard what I said. Allegedly.
So as they're going through the program, though, we're able to, you can hear it a lot of times, you can see it because their continence, their confidence starts to show up. And I tell people that Confidence is one of those things that people don't realize that it shows up after the action. It doesn't show up before the action. Like people get up there and they're, oh, I'm gonna be confident and that kind of stuff and fall flat on their face. Like, no, it becomes, you become confident by doing it. And so we're able to measure the confidence or the transformation as they go along because it starts to show up in how they present, how they talk, their posture. We're able to be able to see their level of confidence as well and their level of excitement, right? They get excited as they get towards the stage. The nerves are going to be there. That's normal, right? But we're able to see that transformation is taking place literally every step along the way.
I love it. I love it. Now, can you share a specific client story or case study that illustrates the platform's impact?
Yeah, so I had a client that had never spoke before that had actually went through a pretty traumatic situation where they had experienced several members of their family transitioning during the pandemic. And as a result of that, they took some time to deal with that, every instance, as well as they started to see by them taking some time off that the business suffered as a result of doing that, right? You know how I was saying that if something happens to you and you're the business, then you don't have business if the lights are not on and the doors are not open, right? So they came with a place of saying, I'm not sure, kind of where I am, but I know I need to get this message out because it's been really dealing with me. And so as we start to work with them though, we were able to identify how they could restart the business, right? Put some things back in place to grow, as well as how to now show up like the expert that you say that you are. And we're
Mhm.
working with them to be able to do that. They were able to get back on track. As well as they're still going, right? They're now doing their own events and different things like that. So, a lot has the ability to come from being a part of the Powerful on Purpose Summit. Our biggest thing is that we want to make sure that you have a quality experience. And then, secondly, that you walk away with something tangible, feeling like I can really do this, right? You have the business, you have systems, you have stuff in place. Now, go implement and do the things that you say that you're going to do and be great at it.
Somebody needs to hear this, Dr. Tabitha. This is what you reminded me of. You reminded me of my time in ministry where, as a pastor, you don't get substantial loans for property or anything else unless you have key man insurance. In other words, the one who say he the one has to be heavily insured because if we go away, they want to make sure their bills get paid.
Right.
Feeling you on that. You just hit me in the chest with that. I remember that well. I remember that well. So, Dr. Tabitha, what tools or practices or habits do you recommend for maintaining momentum after someone completes the program?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that once you complete the program, you cannot go back to who you say that you were, right? Prior to stepping off the stage, because there's a lot that happens, that transformation that people get in order for them to be able to maintain that at minimum, they have to continue to implement the things that we taught them, whether that is, how you show up to your potential clients, how it is that you get your messaging out there, how it is that you go about connecting and applying for other stages or networking with other people. There's several things that they need to do to be able to maintain that momentum. So for example, I tell people momentum is this. Say you're going up a mountain and you are pushing this boulder while you're going up there. Well, you decide that, you know what, I need to take a break. You're gonna press the stop button, you're gonna put something there to hold that boulder in place. Well, whatever that something is has to be stronger than the boulder that you're pushing up there. So if this is your platform, what do you have anchored that's gonna hold that boulder there while you go walk away? Now, if there's nothing there that's stronger than that boulder to hold it, you're going to lose all the momentum. And we know that everything rolls downhill fast. So, wherever you anchor that boulder at, when you stop and walk away, when you come back for it, if it's still there, You still have to build up enough momentum to even move the boulder, right? So you don't necessarily pick up where you left off. It's almost like you start all over again, whatever that point is. So they walk away with the notion of, I got to continue to do this. I got to continue to get my message out there. I got to continue to put my products and services in front of people. I need to continue to keep networking, getting on other stages. There's a lot that needs to happen, because if not, people only remember you from your last moment of success. They don't
Mhm.
sometimes always remember that. If we, and how we get to see that is like every decade there's, I would say, at least a dozen memorable people, right? Outside of that, everybody else is a afterthought, right? When we think about memorable people, Michael Jackson, Kobe Bryant, all of these other greats, right? And if your name is not in those top 12, right? Then what is it that you're doing that's going to help you to at least be in the next 25 to 100, right? And so your greatness has to show up at every turn. So they walk away really knowing that momentum has to be at the forefront, and consistency as well.
I want to encourage viewers to take note. Drtabatharussell.com is Dr. Tabitha's website. And Dr. Tabitha, if you could once more tell us the date and time of the event.
Yes, we have the Powerful and Purpose Summit is February 21st in Columbia, South Carolina at the Gala Event Center off of Bush River Road. And it starts at 9 a.m. We have 30 speakers. That's right, 30 going across the stage that day. That's going to share messages of empowerment, of resilience, of strength, and of victory. Like, you're going to really walk away with empowering information.
And I want to emphasize again that people do have the opportunity to view remotely if they go to your site, drtabatharussell.com.
Yes.
There are remote opportunities there. Okay, so let me ask you this. What unique approaches or methodologies set your platform apart from other empowerment or leadership programs?
So I've been told that we're different because I really do spend time with people to realize what their purpose is. And we talk a lot about alignment, right? What that looks like for them specifically, and not just them in a bucket. Right? Because sometimes we all get scooped up in the bucket and we're treated the same, and we all get the same potential outcomes, just at small and different degrees. Well, because I work with coaches and builders of builders from around the country, a lot of times they have different modalities that they work in. And based upon that, we try to meet them right where they are. And basically, that can be varied degrees, but we're also going to work with them to implement stuff that's going to help them in their space instead of just a generality. And so I find that people are thankful for the time that's being spent with them, that we really do see them for who they are, meaning being the coach, the leader, the trainer, the consultant, CEO, and entrepreneur, right? We see them, but more importantly, we want to help them to realize that their purpose is equally as important to us. Like, I spend time literally thinking about and working towards whatever it is that their next is, and showing them how to uniquely get there and stand in their own power.
I believe that you're a person of that uses affirmations and proclamations. And I say that because I saw something on your, I think it was on your website. It said, I am Tabitha, right?
Yes.
So talk to me about the power of affirmations and how you use them in your life.
Yeah, so affirmations, I believe, first of all, that we can call those things that be not as though they were, right? So I have the ability to speak life and death literally through my words. And so through my words, I create or can create things out of nothing, right? So I literally believe that with affirmations, first of all, practicing gratitude, that you'll never really have a bad day, right? Like things don't necessarily have to go my way, but even in a bad day, I can be thankful for whatever the lesson is that I get from that bad day, right? I can be thankful even when I'm having a good day that I have the time, space, and opportunity for enjoyment or for happiness. And so practicing affirmations, practicing declarations allows you to be able to see afar off on how things are shaping for you as opposed to right now. Like I can look at right now and say, man, life is really good, but I believe that life is going to be even that much more better, right? The word tells us that we can also say that our latter days would be better than the former, right? So I look at, okay, my latter day is tomorrow. I'm going to be a day older, right? February 21st, I'm going to turn another year older. Right. So I get to, through affirmations, though, manifest things because I really do believe that we can shape and cut out the life that we deserve, that we dream of, that we believe that's going to take us into our next. So that's why I like to use those.
I love it. I love it. So answer me this. What final advice would you give to someone who wants to step into their power but feels held back? You're getting tickled by these questions.
I know. I'm sorry. And so I believe to the person that feels like they're being held back, but they want to step into their power, that first of all, you got to realize that sometimes you're your own worst enemy, right? The things that we say that we're fearful for, when you finally conquer it, you'll realize that it really was nothing to be fearful over to begin with, right? Like we all had to start someplace. We all get up in the morning and we put on one pants leg at the time, just like everybody else. Now, if they figure out how to do it some other kind of way, please, by all means, let me know, right? Because I
Mhm.
haven't figured out a better way to do it. So, why am I saying this? I'm saying that you are the best person possible for the assignment, right? Like, nobody can beat me at being me, right? And nobody can beat you at being you. So, we get whatever opportunity that is afforded us to be the most authentic part of ourselves ever. If you don't like something about you, change it. Right? In the society that we live in, if we don't like, I'm going to say hair, but our her, right? We can go change it. We don't like our size, we can go change it, right? There's so much that we can do, but we got to see past our little box or the little space, the little window that we're looking out today and see endless possibilities because that is the life that we have before us, that we can do all things, right? But we got to put our mindset to it and we got to put some action behind it. We can't just say, I'm going to do that and just sit there and feel like it's going to come to you because it's not, right? Sometimes people are not going to come to your rescue. So you got to be powerful enough to make a decision. I taught a lesson on last night about having a bold yes to the assignment. And that means that you're going to show up regardless and you're going to put the effort that's afforded to you. It don't have to look like everybody else's effort. Matter of fact, your business don't even have to be like everybody else's, right? You get the opportunity to put your stamp on it, your name, your signature, your logo, your design, all of that is yours from the ideas and the thoughts that's in your heart and that's in your mind. So do it to the best of your ability. That's it. That's it.
Well spoken. Let me ask you this, Dr. Tabitha. What have you most enjoyed about the time we spent here together today?
Well, first of all, I am honored to be on the show, to spend here with you, Dr. Mark, because I see you doing some awesomely amazing things. My time here has definitely been well spent. You asked me some questions that, of course, it tickled me, but it got me to thinking about how we get the opportunity to take all the limits off, right?
Yes.
And really go forward, go after the things that we say that we want and do the things that we say we're going to do, right? Take the limits off of saying, oh, yeah, I'll get to that tomorrow. What's wrong with today? What's wrong with right now? Like we make time for what's important. Why not carve that time out and just do it? So I've enjoyed having this opportunity to share about what we do, why we do it, and to just really show people that all things are possible if you not just only believe, but you take action and just do it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, mind the business that pays you family. We have been graced with the presence of the fabulous Dr. Tabatha Russell, the founder of Powerful on Purpose, that is going on February 21st, 9 a.m. See, I finally remembered it. February 21st, 9 a.m. And for those of you like me who are not able to travel there this year, please go to drtabatharussell.com because there is an opportunity to, and I would highly recommend that you participate virtually because it's going to be some powerful with her 30 speakers. All
Yes,
right.
yes.
So, family, thank you for being here this week. Dr. Tabitha, don't go away. Just say goodbye to our audience. We've enjoyed you.
Thank you.
Goodbye, family.
Take
And
care.
we will see you next time.